Live from New York, this is WIUR Radio.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to, sadly, our last New York sports update of the semester. I'm your host, Ernest Patty, for WIUR. And yeah, it's a little bit of a bittersweet night here in New Rochelle. But I promise it won't be for last. Maybe there's another show coming next semester. Who knows? Who knows? We'll have to, talk to Robbie about that and see if we can get that going. But anyway, welcome. Hope you all had a nice Thanksgiving break. I know I sure did. Ate a lot, and honestly, that helped with the New York Giants losing 2 games in a row. Not fun. Not fun. Anyway, we've got, just quick recaps of the games, talking about what's going on, some random New York Giants moments, some random New York Yankees moments here. And if we get to it, a little update on the New York Rangers. Yeah, I know. Stinks. Stinks we're not going to be here for a couple weeks, but we'll go on break. I'm trying to get through finals too. And anyway, going to stop talking. And we're going to get right to it. So the past 2 Giants games have not been good. The Giants lost a thriller in OT against the Detroit Lions. And honestly, I didn't even think the Giants would not have been I thought they would have been blown out by halftime. But the Giants managed to have a lead at halftime. Um, and I'm pretty sure we were all surprised by that. But sadly, it came to an end in overtime. Um, I will say this was probably one of the more entertaining games I've seen, and I mean that in I actually wanted to watch this game and not just just watch it out of pity, right? Um, but anyway, you had the Giants held a lead at half, 20-17 over the Lions. And then in that, in the pitched to not pitched. Wow, look at me. I'm already getting ahead of myself. They held the Lions to no points in the third. And then in the fourth, the Giants managed to score a touchdown, getting them to 27. At that point, the Lions were down. But they managed to score 10 points in the fourth on a game tying field goal to send it to overtime. And at that point, you kind of knew the game was lost because you never want to give an offense like the Lions any chance to come back into the game. When you've got guys like Jahmyr Gibbs, Amon-Ra St. Brown, honestly, I'll say Jared Goff. Jared Goff's not that bad. But you never want to give them a chance to get back into the game. And the Giants did, and they ended up losing. But the game was pretty awesome, except for the Giants defense and Shane Bowen, making us lose the game. I'm going to say it was his fault. He was actually fired the next morning on the Monday. But the Giants really only lost this, and in my humble opinion, I think it was because the Giants, Shane Bowen held Dexter Lawrence on the sideline when overtime started. And I think it was the first or the second play that Jahmyr Gibbs went for a 69-yard touchdown rush. Actually, it was the first play of the game, a play of OT. And you hear the announcers say, like, oh, Dexter Lawrence noticeably on the sideline. And then instantly Jahmyr Gibbs is halfway down the field. And yeah, I don't know why Dexter Lawrence wasn't on the field. But kind of everything went wrong for the Giants at that point. And they couldn't bring it back once they got the ball. That Detroit defense is still quite good, even though they were missing a few players. But yeah, Jameis Winston looked pretty good. Pretty good. We got the 2-for-1 touchdown ratio that Jameis is known for, not the exact 1-for-1 ratio of touchdowns to interceptions. My man threw for 366 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. He also rushed for 4 times for 13 yards, and unusually caught a 33-yard touchdown pass. And I remember, I don't know if you guys watched this game, right? But I remember just kind of looking up at the field and I'm like, why is Jameis Winston lined up at wide receiver? And you're thinking like, oh, okay, funny trick play. They're going to call him back under center or, back in the shotgun. And next thing you know, this ball is snapped to Gunnar Olszewski and guy just throws a dart to see what I did there. A dart to Jameis, and Jameis then makes a move, stiff arms a guy, and next thing you know, he's in the end zone. I quite literally dropped my drink at that point because I mean, man, like I don't think I ever would have seen Jameis Winston go 33 yards for a touchdown. I mean, I've seen him go like 5 at the most, but I never would have thought he would go all the way for a touchdown pass, especially of 33 yards. But yeah, it was kind of weird. Like just after one game, after one play, the Lions were back in the lead. You don't really expect that, but I mean, it's Jahmyr Gibbs, so anything is possible. And Dan Campbell always calls a good game, so it's yeah. Well, I mean, what did we expect? We thought it was going to be a worse blowout, but it actually wasn't a blowout. So got to give the guys credit. But yeah. Anyway, after the game, or the next day, Shane Bowen was fired, and Charlie Bullen, currently the outside linebacker, or what previously was the outside linebackers coach, now is the interim defensive coordinator. He's got about 18 years of coaching experience, with 12 of that in the NFL. I've got his, coaching background here. Nothing too crazy that stands out. He was a defense in 2012. He coached it. He's from Iowa, so he coached in Iowa. Coached at Iowa University of Iowa for the Hawkeyes, and worked his way up. He got a job at the Miami Dolphins as a defensive assistant. And he was there for a while. He was the assistant defensive line coach. Then he went to the linebackers coach in 2018. And then in 2019, he got picked up by the Arizona Cardinals, was a linebackers coach there for a few years. And then went to the Illinois Fighting Illini, and then coached, landed in the Meadowlands, coaching for the Giants as the outside linebackers coach. His kind of play coaching style, pass rush, edge rush, focused. He's familiar with defensive backs. He's been, coaching linebackers and those guys for a while. And then he's worked under, a couple organizations. So it kind of brings, a couple different perspectives to the team. But I think the Giants will lean heavy on the pass rush again, like they've done all season. They've been pretty good at it. And so I don't know, maybe this new guy will be, kind of the savior that New York needs. Who knows? But yeah, it's I don't know. It's a weird time to be a Giants fan because they didn't really go all in on the rebuild, and they didn't sell anybody at the trade deadline. They didn't get any picks. They didn't get any trades for that matter. So we'll see what happens, in the next few months. What happens at the draft and so on and so forth, free agency. But yeah, weird time to be a Giants fan. So I don't know. We'll see what they do with head coach whether that's bringing a new offensive coordinator or not. Um, excuse me. So we'll see what happens there. Moving on. Game 2. Last weekend we saw the Giants take on the Patriots. And if you're anybody that pays attention to football, you know that Drake May is one of the front runners for the NFL MVP category. So you were probably thinking to yourself, all right, Giants kind of have a shot. But that was also not the case. This was Jackson Dart's first game back after being out with a concussion. He missed a couple games. But the Patriots defense kind of had a chokehold on the Giants. And they didn't let up all game. We saw the Patriots with a commanding 17-7 lead at the half. And then from there, they kind of broke it open, leaving the Giants scoreless in the third. And pretty much just, or I'm sorry, at the half, they were leading 30-7. And then both teams are scoreless in the third. And then ultimately, the Giants scored, a measly garbage time touchdown. And, the Patriots went on to kick a couple field goals. The Giants, however, Dart, first game back, he went 17 for 24 with 140 passing yards, 1 touchdown, and no interceptions. He was sacked twice, which I think is a pretty, standard stat line for the Giants offensive line. But I had to throw it in there. Devin Singletary took over the backfield with 12 carries for 68 yards and 1 touchdown. His longest rush was 22 yards. And Darius Slayton led with a 30-yard touchdown completion. And the Giants only totaled 139 receiving yards across all targeted receivers. Just not a great performance by the G-men. However, on the other side, you have Drake May going 24 for 31 with 282 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, and the passer rating of 126. So near perfect. In the running game, the Patriots only ran for a total of 120 yards. And the most notable was a 94-yard punt return for a touchdown by special teamer Marcus Jones. I was watching that and I was like, no way. No way that guy, scores. And you hear, I think it was Chris Collinsworth or Joe Buck, whoever it was, say, whether it was Sunday night or Monday night, I couldn't remember. But you had them say like, wow, this guy's pretty fast. And then he just took off down the sideline and made everybody miss. And that was just crazy. Anyway, what went wrong for the Giants? Pretty much everything. Right. They were outclassed early, Patriots jumping out to a 17-0 lead. And the Giants really just showed a little bit of life late in the game. And the Patriots dominated both sides of the balls, both sides of the ball. So there really wasn't much to fear, right? So, when you face a good team, you don't really expect much when your team has been hurting pretty bad the past couple of weeks, or the whole season, I should say. But the Giants get a much needed bye week 14. They got an upcoming game against the Commanders. It's the second meeting this season. They met previously in week 1. Even though this is this division game, it doesn't really matter for playoffs because both teams are at the bottom of the NFC East. But it's still kind of an important matchup. With the Giants struggling lately, they're going to have some home field advantage. But yeah, it's again, I'm not really looking forward to it. It's just going to be a bad game, I feel. Who knows? Maybe we'll see what happens, but yeah. Um, recently, there have been a little rumors going around about Abdul Carter and the rest of the organization. Now, Abdul was held from a few of the opening drives on defense the past couple of games, and fans noticed it, but no one was really like, hey, like what's going on there until like the second game when they thought it was just like he missed a team bus or something like that. And then it kind of snowballed into like he was, disruptive in team meetings and all that. So, pretty interesting what's going on there. We'll keep you updated. But for right now, the Giants and Abdul Carter kind of have been beefing a little bit. They're kind of unsure what's going on. And yeah, but we're gonna take a quick ad break, and then we'll get you into the upcoming matchup against the Commanders.
Untouchable, unstoppable.
This is WIUR
Radio.
Hi, this is Anthony Carlo, TV news reporter in New York City and proud alum. If you're looking for a career in media, Iona is the place to be. From internships to real-world experience, Iona's media program is unprecedented. Take it from an industry professional who made it in the biz.
Now back to WIUR, Iona University Radio.
All right, and we're back. It's your New York Sports Update. And anyway, where I left off was we're talking about the little few instances between Abdul Carter and the Giants coaching staff here. Yeah, a little weird. He's been reported to be disruptive in meetings and not really paying attention that well. So anyway. He was pulled and he wasn't pulled. He was sat for a few of the opening drives. Now, a lot of the fans will say like, "Oh, like why is he on the field? That's making a big impact." To be honest, I don't really think it is. I mean, even though he's very good, he's a very good rookie. I just think this Giants team has had a lot of changes and whatnot that aren't really playing to their strong suit. So yeah, I think it's just a rough look. I'm not really concerned. I mean, if Abdul Carter has, like one of those issues, I think it's just one of those rookie things. And he'll come back, next year and it'll be fine. But honestly, with 3 games left in the season or 4, I guess, I'm not, too worried about it. But yeah, just had to mention it. Yeah. But there are some key injuries that will kind of prevent this matchup from really looking like it's going to be one team's win over the others. You've got Tyrone Tracy, who's questionable with a hip injury. Kayvon Thibodeau, question with a shoulder injury. You have Gunnar Olszewski, who's a wide receiver. He went down after a big hit in the Patriots game. That game was pretty chippy, and a lot of guys were getting roughed up. Jackson Dart also took a crazy hit, and sadly can't show you that clip, but yeah, he was flung into the sideline. It looked like he was going to get out, but anyway, yeah, a lot of guys took a lot of hits, but Gunnar did take a scary hit right to the head, busted some paint off his helmet. And I mean, he's not, a big impact player, but one of those shifty guys on special teams who you want to see out there. But yeah, I mainly Tyrone Tracy and Kayvon Thibodeau are the only two injury guys that are injured that do kind of pose a threat to the team. I mean, the Giants are deep at defensive line and linebacker and edge, so not too worried. But you lose a guy like Kayvon Thibodeau, then other guys are going to have to step up or share time among different positions. So just something to keep your eye on. On the other side, the Washington Commanders will be without Drake Jackson, actually all questionable. Drake Jackson, who's returning from IR. You got Frankie Louvu, and if you remember Frankie Louvu from last year's, I think it was NFC championship game. He kept jumping over the offensive lineman and causing a scene. He's out with a shoulder injury. You've got Bobby Wagner, great veteran. He's questionable with a knee injury. Javon Kinlaw, a great defensive tackle. Noah Brown, he's on injury reserve. And you've got star quarterback Jaden Daniels. Marcus Mariota hasn't been a terrible replacement for him. He's kind of shown that he's still a competent backup, and he's one of those guys that you can, I guess, confidently rely on. He's got sparks from when he was a rookie with the Tennessee Titans, and honestly, I still think he's a good quarterback. It's a shame he's not a starter, but then when you look at all the guys who are starting in this league, then you're like, yeah, okay, fine, it makes sense. But I think the Commanders are still edge this one out this weekend. Not really too confident in the Giants. But I mean, Dart's a great quarterback, so who knows. But yeah, just something to think about and keep your eye on come Sunday when you're watching the game with everybody. We're gonna take it over to our Yankees. Always love the Yankees, but there have been a few headlines that have made it recently. Most notably, Yankees MVP and captain Aaron Judge, and because I have to mention them, the Mets, Pete Alonso actually received votes for New York City mayor in the 2025 election. How funny is that? Definitely wasn't me. I definitely didn't vote for Aaron Judge to be mayor of New York City. Although I'm pretty sure a lot of people would like that. But yeah. Another headline that I had to bring up, most notably, closer Devin Williams signed a $51 million contract with the New York Mets, and took a shot at a lot of the Yankees fan base here when he was quoted saying, "Sure are mad." So yeah, not too happy about that signing. But again, Devin Williams got the yips when he first came over, and then we had him for the next year, and he was injured and also not pitching well, and also just being a menace on the mound and losing a couple games for us. So honestly, I don't hate it. That's just $51 million that the Yankees get to spend on Cody Bellinger, Kyle Tucker, Bo Bichette, a lot of other guys that may want to come play here. So I'm not mad about it, although that does leave a giant hole in our rotation. So something to just look at. And then they're, kind of in the running for Cody Bellinger. There's, a few different kind of stories going around that the Yankees and Cody Bellinger kind of aren't on the right wavelength. I hope that they bring him back. I think he was probably one of the most loved guys that was brought here last year, besides Judge, besides a few other guys here and there. But I think the fans really embraced Cody, and it would be really nice to see him in either center field or left field. Now, I know the Yankees are already committed to Trent Grisham, although I don't hate it. I'm still not a huge fan of that signing. Or actually, just they had to make a qualified offer, but I don't think the Yankees actually expected him to make it, because now that handcuffs the Yankees a lot with their left field situation, because you have Spencer Jones, a guy that's in AAA that has been like literally the next Babe Ruth. And I know he's not the next Babe Ruth. I'm just saying that because the guy hits like 400, 500 foot home runs. And Even though he does play the outfield, they're probably going to want him in center and sorry, not center, in left. And then you also have Jason Dominguez, and then you also have blah blah blah. So you've got like a lot of guys that can play left field, and if you're already committed to Trent Grisham, that means he's going to be in center field. And then you're probably mixing and matching these guys all around. And then you want to have bench pieces. So it's like the Yankees are in like a really weird spot. I think they have to make a really big trade. And if they do make a really big trade, then you have space for Cody Bellinger. You have space for Kyle Tucker. Then you have space for all these guys. And so maybe you're picking up the phone to, Detroit, and you're saying, hey, Spencer Jones and Jason Dominguez will look pretty good in your Detroit Lions colors. Why don't you guys, take them for Tariq Skubal, But even though it would be really nice to have Tariq Skubal in the pinstripes. Anyway, there's a lot to be, happening right now for the Yankees in the free agency. So I think they're in a good spot, but they're also not in a great spot. And Kyle Tucker's price is only going up every day. So we'll see. Another thing, Sonny Gray, a former Yankees pitcher who honestly, in my opinion, couldn't handle the New York media when he was brought over here, signed with the Boston Red Sox. And he said he never wanted to go there. And I should have pulled up the clip, but I forgot. But in his press conference when he was brought to New York, he said, he was like, oh, I'm so excited to be here. He said all these nice things about the Yankees. And I get it. You're not going to say anything bad when you're on the press, when you're behind the microphone. But I mean, the guy seemed like he wanted to be here. And then when he wasn't pitching well, couldn't handle the New York media. And then ultimately that ended up with him leaving, getting traded, and he bounced around from a couple teams, and then now he's in Boston. And then he was heard saying that he's glad he's in a spot where it's easy to hate the Yankees. So, I mean, who knows? But the Yankees don't have many friends right now. So yeah, it's kind of annoying to see guys come to the New York Yankees and then leave, for other reasons that don't make much sense. But anyway, that's just the couple headlines that we've got for you today in the baseball Yankees universe. I guess we'll move on to the Rangers because we do have a few minutes left. But the New York Rangers playing at MSG, they have. It's been a little rough over the past couple weeks. The offense has looked pretty good, but that's only because I'm only looking at a 2-week span. You've had over the past 6 games, or actually, over the last 5 games, because game 6 in this stretch happens tonight. The Rangers have gone 4-1, or excuse me. Yes, 4-1, and they've scored a ton of goals in that span. They snapped a 4-game losing streak by beating St. Louis, by beating the St. Louis Blues 3-2 at home on November 24th. On November 26th, they followed it up with a 4-2 win over the Carolina Hurricanes. They dominated the Boston Bruins, going 6-2 during Thanksgiving week. And then the Rangers lost 4-1 at home to the Tampa Bay Lightning, continuing their home ice struggles despite a strong road record this season. And then on December 2nd, they came back and won 3-2 in overtime against the Dallas Stars. And that just kind of shows, like how resilient the Rangers are. Like I said, in that stretch, they've gone 4-1. Across 5 games, which is a pretty strong run with Game 7 happening tonight. Their offense has looked pretty capable, especially with the win in the wins over Boston and Carolina. And they've put up multiple goals, scoring from different players. So it's not just their top stars. It's kind of proof that the whole team is stepping up. Goaltending has been solid. Shesterkin has made key saves, and especially in the wins over St. Louis and Carolina. Consistency at home still remains a problem. They just kind of repeating the same cycle of losing at home. But anyway, this is all the time we have for this week's episode. It's bittersweet. I will hopefully see you guys in the spring when we're back. But that will be up to Robbie, the big man behind the camera, behind the computer. So anyway, for WIUR, I'm Ernest Patty. This has been your last New York Sports Update episode for now.